Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Psychic Goddess Erica. So today we're doing the forecast for the collective. As always, I like to tell you guys, even though there's a time that I'm filming this for, doesn't really matter. If you see this at another month, at another time, and you're drawn to it, or you just want to click on it, or maybe even if it's suggested, even though it's an algorithm, sure, I still always feel like that spirit having a hand in it, that maybe you need to hear something about it. Go ahead and click on it. So whatever week you're in, like let's say, even though I'm filming this for January of 2022, even if you're seeing this in February of 2023 and you're drawn to it, if you're in week 1 of that month, go ahead and click on week 1 in the description box of this video here, and there's something in it that you're going to need to hear. And that goes for my pick a card readings and my cards of the day as well. They're really all timeless regardless of what the time says. So forecast for the collective for January 2022, or whenever you see this, I'm going to be working with today the Archer's Discernment Oracle deck created by me, and the Archer's Love Oracle deck, also created by me. So if you want either of those, where you can get that will be down below in the description. I'm also going to be working with the African American Tarot and the African Tarot for today. So most of you know by now how this works, but I'm going to do a general reading for the entire month first, and then I'll get into each week. And the timestamps will be below in the description for you to go to each week, because I know if you're like me, I like to go back and listen to each week after, before and after it plays out, to see how it resonated with me, what happened, etc. Or you can listen to it all the way through. It's up to you. Okay. Universal message for the collective. May it resonate with anyone and everyone who sees it, whenever they see it, truth be told. Okay, so we have the first message is the wheel, which makes perfect sense. The Wheel of Fortune. So January is about a time of change, and change that is inevitable. The only thing promised in life is change, right? And look at this. There's so many different pathways and directions that you can choose to go. So January is that time in terms of processing. Change is coming, change is happening, but how are you going to respond to it? What choices are you going to make? What path do you want to go on now? What path do you want to take now, or direction that will lead you towards more of your desires, or more of that new version of self that you want to be, that rebranded or reinvented version of self that you want to be, that healed self that you want to be, that successful self that you want to be, that loved and loving self that you want to be, whatever it is. What path are you going to go? Let's see what else is going on for our overall message for January, or whenever you see this, truth be told. Okay, we also have the Tower. So January, or whenever you're seeing this, is bringing that energy of harsh truths coming to light. Things may not feel comfortable the whole time. There may be a little bit of uneasy feeling as things are being unearthed and revealed, as certain things that you thought were one way are now being revealed that they are not that way. Shaking people out of their comfort zone, shaking people out of old patterns that are not serving, addictions, obsessions that are not serving, relationships, jobs, ways of thinking, behavior patterns that are not serving, things like that. It could also be an energy for some people, because remember, this is general, so take what resonates, release what doesn't. It could also be this energy of just a lot going on, like schedule-wise, or a lot to deal with, or a lot to process, or a lot to handle, whether it's mentally or emotionally or spiritually, or even just physically, or even just what you see going on around you. Just a lot going on, kind of that chaotic vibe. That's coming up as well. Let's see what else is going on. And if you hear talking, my mom is downstairs. I'm visiting family still. We have past influence. So many of us are going to be feeling the energy of the past, whether it's people popping up, literally in terms of communication or physically, or whether it's just memories or dreams or daydreams of the past or just thoughts around the past. Past influences are still at play around this timing, but at the same time, the Spirit is just wanting to remind you that you can't live in the past and you cannot go back to the past. You can revisit it in terms of what you learned from it, how you've grown from it, how it's impacted you, good or bad, how you're healing from it, how you're evolving. But you cannot recreate it. It's already gone. What is. You know what I mean? So let's get one more general message for January before we get January, or whenever you're seeing this, before we get into each week. I guess it's this one wanted to come out. Secrets coming to light. That kind of goes along with the tower energy that I was speaking about, where when I said truths coming up, harsh truths coming up. And when I say harsh truths, that doesn't always mean it has to be terrible. I mean, for some people, maybe it is. For other people, it could be uncomfortable. For others, it could be a positive truth, but it's more of this like that pow in your face. But secrets coming to light, whether it's something you're hearing, seeing, whether it's something you're just knowing and feeling from within or being revealed from within, whether it's something happening externally, like somebody saying something to you, or you hearing news from he said, she said, or you're seeing something online, or whatever it might be, or whether it's your therapy session and then they like hit something and then you're like, oh man, I see now, whatever it is. It's going to mean different things for different people. Okay, so let's get into each week, starting with week 1 for January, or whenever you're seeing this. We have the Page of Wands. Oops, I'm dropping everything. So this is a time to take things, I always like to say this energy of taking it one step at a time, one day at a time. But with this particular energy, especially with how this visual is depicted, it's almost like there's a resistance to this new change or to taking that next step. Or maybe it's that energy of like feeling like you still have to stand up for yourself or fight for what you believe in. And that vibe is coming up around the first week. But you're still in the very beginning stages of these actions. You're still in the very beginning stages of this new path, new direction, and you can't jump from start to finish. So take the journey as it's coming along, but stand in your truth is what I'm feeling from that. Stand in your truth, stand up for yourself, demand respect. And if somebody doesn't respect you, then maybe they don't need to be in your life or around you or in your energy anymore. Setting those boundaries as you are evolving and taking action in terms of this new version of self, this new way of thinking, this new creativity, this new inspiration, and this new confidence that you are in or growing into or need to begin to tap into is what I'm picking up with that as well. Because I'm hearing Spirit say, remember, you don't know it all. None of us know it all. None of us know it all. We also have great things to come. So you may already be feeling some of these great things happening within the first week of January or whenever you're seeing this. Or if you don't feel it or see it yet, then it's coming. It's manifesting. So kind of like keep that hope alive. Keep that positive vibe going. Keep trusting in the divine and in faith, even when things don't look like they are going to be great, because Spirit is saying that they are going to be great. Even if that greatness is different than what you thought you wanted or what you were expecting at a certain point in time or when you're seeing this. We also have married on paper. So for some of you, you may be handling actual like legal matters or contractual matters, even if it's not related to marriage in terms of romance or past romance. this could be a marriage in terms of a business choice or a partnership or maybe even a friendship. And what I feel this is saying married on paper is because these are things that maybe you are tied to or bonded to contractually, whether it's literally on paper or verbally, that are being worked out. So for some people, you may be separating from a contract or a bond or marriage. For some people, you may be joining a contract, joining a bond, joining a marriage. So you're going to know what's for you in your situation, because remember, this is general. And for others, this is more in terms of committing to new things within yourself. Like when I think of married on paper, I'm thinking of the commitments that, the resolutions and things like that we write down for ourselves, the intentions that we write down, things like that. And then being married to those commitments and those changes and those intentions. That's what I feel coming up with that. Committing yourself to it. So take what resonates, release what doesn't. We also have the Nine of Cups and the Queen of Swords for the first week. So, what's interesting is with this particular Nine of Cups, even though this person is reaching a certain level, I'm feeling of getting something they wanted, they don't look very fully content in it, right? At least in this image here. So what I'm feeling is that for a lot of us, we may be reaching a certain point where we've gotten some of what we want or all of what we want, but it's still not really filling us or fulfilling in the way that we thought it would. Or maybe there's still a little bit more that we feel like we're wanting. So on one hand, there's a message for a lot of us to need to remember gratitude, to have gratitude for how far we've come. We may not be fully there, but we have made progress, and to acknowledge that and to celebrate those victories, no matter how small or big, and to have more gratitude for those successes or wish fulfillment or satisfaction. And for others, this is like you finally got something you wanted, and this is just an example, like you feel like you won a fight, but now everybody involved in that fight feels bad. But even though you feel like, oh, I won, I did that, I made my point and I got what I wanted, but it still caused you hurt, still caused somebody else hurt. You know what I mean? That's an example. Apply it to you if it feels like it resonates. But for some people, this is that energy of getting what you want and it's still not fulfilled. I also think of like the movie Soul by Disney Pixar, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet, to where it's like he finally gets to be a professional jazz musician on stage, and he realizes that this is it. Like, it didn't give him the feeling he thought he was going to get. You know what I mean? And then realize that he had been living his purpose within his journey along the whole time. So, and going back to that message of gratitude for even the successes, no matter how small or big, over time in the journey. That is something we need to remember in week 1. And then we also have the Queen of Swords. And so this is the energy of being very clear in thought and communication, going deeper in terms of looking at the facts in a more logical and practical way. And when I say looking at the facts, that could be the facts of the history of a relationship and seeing it for what it is, rather than romanticizing things so much or getting too caught up in emotion. Still trust your feelings and listen to what you're feeling, but still seeing things in more of a truthful way. And some of that clarity may be hitting around that time. This could also be checking facts and doing research for yourself in the area so that you can make a educated choice or decision for yourself, rather than listening to everybody else, or rather than just following what the collective is doing. You know what I mean? Things like that. So take what resonates there, release what doesn't, and just communicating. Even if you have to talk about your emotions, communicate it in a very clear, direct, and matter-of-fact kind of way, rather than bringing up this point, then that point, and that point, and then this point. It's more of like, what's the issue now? What's the issue we're talking about? Let's talk about that, and then move on to another if need be. That's an example. Going into week 2 of January, or whenever you are seeing this, we have, if I could pick it up. Okay, there we go. The Magician. Take your power back. Know your power. You are manifesting your reality, no one else. You are the only person who can make these changes in your life. Nobody can do it for you. Nothing's going to just drop into your lap and all of a sudden everything's okay. There's no knight in shining armor that's going to come out of the woods and fix all your problems, whether that's love problems, money problems, etc. You are the one. So what are the tools that you need to get you to where you want and need to be? Does that mean you have to do more research? Does that mean you have to be consistent with something? Does that mean that you have to look into, try new things to figure out what works for you? You know what I mean? So the magician is that energy of remembering that you are an alchemist that can turn something into something else. You know what I mean? So knowing that you hold the power, nobody else but you, and remembering that we are all goddesses and gods and hold that power within ourselves. So maybe this is week 2. It's important that we stop looking externally for certain things that are within ourselves to change and evolve or to grow or to make happen or to heal or to love or to create. We also have stop forcing it. So there's something that you kind of need to pull back from, or to stop trying to make happen, or to manipulate. When I say manipulate, that's a triggering word for a lot of people. It doesn't always mean that it's in a negative sense. Like, this is an example, like you being the first to always initiate a text to someone because you feel like if you don't, then you won't hear from that person. That's a form of trying to manipulate the situation to your favor. It doesn't always mean it's a horrible thing, evil thing, but it is a form of manipulation. You know what I mean? So that's just an example. If it resonates to you, it was for you. But it's a message to stop forcing it. Stop trying to force something, and just kind of let it flow. And in that way, you'll begin to see if something really is for you or not by just kind of falling back, putting yourself more in the receptive mode, receiving, and living into the answers. Stop forcing it. Stop forcing something, whatever that it or something is for you. Even if it's like you aren't feeling like let's say this is an example, you're doing a project and you haven't worked on it in a while, but you don't feel inspired yet. Don't force that either. Put yourself in that receptive rest mode, recovery mode. Get back to that magician phase of like the basics to then figure out, okay, what's the first step? And maybe that first step is relaxing and getting to know self. But whatever it is for you, don't force. We also have 2 of these that came out: vacation or staycation and married in spirit. So during the second week, again, this vacation or staycation vibe of needing time to relax or take breaks from the everyday routine or from what's draining you, whether you're going somewhere or whether you're staying in a certain area and just relaxing, taking some space for relaxation, recovery, for peace, doing things that bring you joy, allowing yourself the mental space to just be and not worry or overthink. And then the married in spirit, I feel this is about deeper connections, more committed connections on the spiritual level and spiritual bonds. So whether this is with a person, romantic or business or friendship or family or otherwise, maybe you're married in spirit to a new concept that you are very much committed to and evolving within self, a new version of way you're thinking that you're incorporating, whatever it is for you, or deeper commitment to somebody else, something like that, or a new goal. But we also have the devil. So this is the message of, as you are putting yourself in receptive mode, I'm feeling like Spirit is talking about how like we can tend to kind of go back to those fears or those doubts. And Spirit is saying is, do not let those fears or those doubts or those worries take over. What's for you will be for you at the end of the day, and needing to understand that you really do have the ability and capability to make changes or to get what you deserve. And this is why there's a need to relax more rather than, obsessing over something or trying to make something happen. Again, stop forcing it, or allowing negative influences of people around you or of the collective, or even I keep hearing the aholic. So whether it's workaholic or alcoholic or anything other form of something else, of being addicted to something that's not serving you, let it go. Whoever needed to hear that. And when I say just let it go, I know you can't just do it and just be done with it. You might need help. You might need to look deeper. And this could be why that married in spirit could be more of that commitment to that change on a spiritual level, and remaining bonded to wanting that change, whether it's working with a person or whether that's from within or whether that's doing research, however it resonates. But I feel like that was for a certain group of people, obviously not for everyone. So take whichever side of the coin resonates with you for that. Let's go into week 3. I left my water upstairs. Okay, week 3 we have the Page of Swords. And so week 3, I'm really getting this energy of new inspiration, new ideas, new questions coming into mind that it's okay to ask, it's okay to research, it's okay to look into, whether that's questions you're questioning yourself, whether that's questions you're asking to source or your spirit guides or your ancestors, or there's questions you're asking to somebody directly, or there's questions you're putting into Google to do research, whatever it might be. But I'm getting new ideas. I'm getting new ways of communicating these ideas or these emotions. And for some of you, I'm getting this energy for a certain group of people. There's this energy of like people wanting to kind of reconnect or just get in touch, just kind of like a check-in, but trying not to read too deep into a certain situation for a select group of you. Sometimes you cross people's minds till they contact you, and it's not always that deep, or vice versa. So keep that in mind for a select group of you. We'll also see the Four of Cups. So we may not see things happening exactly how we fully desire them to be, or maybe an opportunity is presented, or maybe someone is coming forward, or you're offering something to somebody else, but there's this energy of, I know it's there, but I don't know if I really want it. I don't know if that's really for me, whether it's you feeling that way or somebody else. So kind of keeping that in mind, this energy of like discontent. And it's okay to kind of take space to process, rather than trying to force something to fit if it's not a fit. You know what I mean? Taking some time to pause and reflect, or do that research and tap in if need be, however that resonates. And if you're not liking what's being presented to you in terms of your reality or your outer world, okay, well then what are these new ideas and these inspiration or these conversations or questions that you need to look into to begin to make change, so that you are presented with a world or reality that you do feel resonates with you or is fitting or fulfilling to you. They're also talking about around or in the winter season, whether it's the current winter season or the upcoming for you, when depending upon whenever you're seeing this, a spiritual bond is happening or taking place. So whether that spiritual bond is with you and another person, whether it's between you and spirit or an ancestor, whether that spiritual bond is a deepening one with yourself, however it resonates with you, that is something that really needs to be looked into and even questioned, not in a negative way, but questioned or being more inquisitive about, so that you can learn from it around or in the winter season, whether it's the current winter season or the upcoming, depending upon whenever you're seeing this. But when I also think of winter season in the symbolic sense, I think of certain things that are kind of on pause, or like feeling like almost frozen in time, or maybe even frozen or stagnant in terms of emotional movement in certain ways. So if that is the case for you, I have a sneeze coming on. So if that is the case for you, Spirit is just saying it's okay to kind of allow things to be on that pause or frozen in that moment. Everything doesn't always have to be moving at a certain speeds at all times. Sometimes the best action you can take is to pause, so that you can clear your head and figuring out what the next inspiration really is. Going into week 4, we have the Judgment card. So I am getting an energy of renewal and reinvention for some people. So this could be an idea that is being renewed or reinvented or rebranded within self, For some of you, this is the fact that you are becoming like new, because now that you've had certain experiences and come to a certain point, you can now use those experiences to make a better judgment for yourself at present and as you move forward. For some of you, I do feel people popping up, or reconnections, or relationships, people, ideas, memories, patterns, behaviors, for some obsessions or addictions. Whatever it is that's popping up for you, good or bad, I feel this energy of just things being resurrected in the 4th week. But how are you going to deal with them? How are you going to handle them? You can't always control the circumstance or other people, but you can control how you choose to use that knowledge from the past and even now, and where you are now at this new stage in life before moving forward. So for some of you, this is a really exciting and good thing. And for others of you, it may not really feel quite that way. It may be, are you going to use your better judgment this time to not repeat the same mistake, or what? So take what resonates there, release what doesn't. But I'm also seeing the 9 of Wands, and I'm feeling like for the majority, not all, but for the majority, this is like a blessing in disguise vibe, to where this judgment that's called for and what's being brought back up or repeated is more in terms of a lesson, and needing to pause with the 9 of Wands energy before moving forward, because you've already recovered from so much before. So instead of taking so much baggage, or instead of carrying so much moving forward, is there something that you can kind of let go of now and leave behind, so that you don't have to carry so much into this next path this time around? I'm feeling that. I'm also seeing the energy of no respect. So for some of you, you may feel like you deserve more respect, you're not getting it, and so therefore there's a need to demand it. And like I kind of said in the beginning, this is kind of like a circling back, repeating theme of, if somebody is not respecting you, then maybe they don't need to be around your energy or in your life anymore, or at least for a period of time. You know what I mean? For others of you, this could be you needing to work on respecting yourself, like seeing that value within you, because maybe you don't have it for yourself right now. And for some of you, maybe you've lost respect for somebody else. You know what I mean? So how are you dealing with it? And what can you use in terms of these lessons to, again, move in a healthier direction moving forward? And finally, we have what's for you is for you. So again, going back to that theme of releasing the force of trying to make something happen, and understanding that what's for you will be for you at the end of the day. So there's no need to worry of, oh man, what if they don't want me, or what if they choose someone else, or what if I don't get that job, or what if, you know, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what if, because if it didn't happen, it was not for you, at least not at that point in time. What's for you will be for you. So see it as a blessing in disguise, that rejection was the universe protecting you from something that was not for you, so that you can release that attachment, and so that what is for you can finally come in once you see these lessons and use your better judgment, and have the respect for yourself and demand respect from others, or take space from whoever's not respecting you, or whoever you've lost respect for, to move forward into a healthier direction, moving forward and on. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, the information on where you can go to do that is down below in the description. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Please comment below how this resonated with you, or if you kind of do like me and you like to see how certain weeks play out, and come back and comment, or watch the whole thing and come back later after this month is up from whenever you're seeing this, or this week is up from whenever you're tuning in, whatever it is, and let me know how it resonated with you, then do so. I always appreciate the interactions. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, and I will talk to you guys another time. Bye.